have March and Pop underneath it, please?
This is good. Oh, the other one. Right. So, yeah, I'm holding the front. Grab the rest of the Grab the rest of it. I'll do this. Stick that front. Yep, that's right. So we'll do, I'll use the pins from here. Okay, now stick our part on the other side. Oh, crap. Okay, pull it from there. Yep. I thought you took it. Okay, where are the other ones you should down? No, okay. Guess we're using these. Okay.
I'm wearing girl glasses.
Oh, he's wearing something glasses.
Those are two white that you got.
Okay, now we'll push this back.
He's making a big deal off of that flight. I'm sure that's what he's very happy with himself.
Look, you got a top. I got a top. I got two tops. Okay, there we go. So hopefully you can see this. Okay. Sure. You can see this. That's why all the stands were on the ground, because the wind was blowing them over.
Yeah. Then we put them all back up and let's go.
I hadn't considered what I did.
Gotta go. Pop and march. Soon.
I would like to invite all of the members of our audience to please stand as the Grand Haven High School graduation band, under the direction of Mr. Craig Bourdon, plays our national anthem. You can sit. You may sit. You may be seated. My name is Tracy Wilson, and I'm the principal of Grand Haven High School, and I would like to welcome you to the Grand Haven High School 143rd commencement exercise of the Grand Haven Area Public Schools, and the 22nd one out here on Ferris Street. Would like to thank the members of our Veterans of Foreign War Post 2326 and our American Legion Post 28 for presenting the colors. I'd like to take just a minute and thank all of you parents, grandparents, guests for joining us this evening for a wonderful celebration of our seniors. Tonight we are here to honor 436 seniors. Our seniors are wearing a blue, green, and purple ribbon to honor classmates that they've lost. We have a full house, seniors. Did you take a look around as you walked in to notice that they're all here for you? Not a football game, not a lacrosse match. They're here because of you and to celebrate with you. We want to thank you so much for being here with us. I'm honored to introduce some special guests that are on stage with me tonight. Superintendent Andy Engel, board members President John Simeon, Vice President Carl Treitler, Secretary Nicole Stack, Treasurer Seth Holt, Trustee Christine Baker, Trustee James O'Neill, Trustee Chris Strang. You may give them a round of applause. I'd also like to recognize James O'Neill, who happens to be on stage as a board member, but he's also sitting here as a parent tonight, which brings a lot of different mixed emotions. I'd also like to say thank you and welcome to our administrative team, Assistant Principal Mike Roberson, Travis Spayman, Athletic Director Scott Robertson, Facility Manager Kyle Heitzman, Ottawa County Sheriff's Deputies Jake McKellar and Ryan DeVries. And there's a whole host of Grand Haven Buccaneer staff members, K through 12, that you saw lead in the graduates with black caps and gowns, along with cowls that represent the colleges or universities that they attended. This is the 27th year that they've honored our seniors by marching them in. At this time, we would like to start by honoring the members of the class of 2019 who are choosing to serve our country. So members of the class of 2019, please stand and come to the south side of the stage. Mr. C.E. Sickinga is going to read your names. You're then going to come up across the stage to receive your honor cords and to be pinned by the American Legion and Veterans of Foreign War. We'd like to recognize these students for making a choice to serve our country by giving them the red, white, and blue cords and thanking them for their commitment beyond graduation. So at this time, seniors that are going off doesn't mean right away, but some of you are going soon. So whether you're leaving because you're going to college first and you've already signed a commitment, or maybe you have a full scholarship, maybe ROTC scholarship, I know we have one of those. We also have 2 members that CE is going to recognize who aren't with us. Bring your name card up to the stage so that he can read your name.
Valerie Bobbledyke. Caleb Swart. Nicholas Schuster. Logan Watson. Jacob O'Neill. And not able to be with us tonight because they left for basic training in January, Logan Dennings, who is now training to become a Marine, and Paul Murin, who's training with the Army.
Thank you for being here. Thank you. We appreciate the partnership that we have with the Veterans of Foreign War and with our American Legions here in Grand Haven. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Superintendent Andy Engel, who would like to address the class of 2019.
Good evening, board members, Mrs. Wilson, members of our faculty, staff, parents, family members, special guests, and most importantly, graduates. It's an honor to be here and share in tonight's ceremony with you. Graduates, you know tonight is a time of celebration and reflection on years of hard work and accomplishment. We're here to honor the individuals you've become through your school careers, and we look forward to your continued growth and contributions to the community, both here in Grand Haven and beyond. You are also looking forward. We know and appreciate that endless opportunities await you. Class of 2019, this event is all about you, but of course it's about your family and those that have supported you and helped you along your journey. I firmly believe it's important. No, it's essential to show our appreciation and affirm those here today and throughout our community for the support they've provided you over these years. First, parents and families, for the countless hours you've invested directly in your child, but also for memberships in PTO, athletic boosters, music boosters, Science-O, all of our clubs and activities, attending concerts, athletic events, and all of the individual volunteering. I'd like to make a special thank you to my good friend Tim Taylor. He's here in the audience tonight. He's Anna's dad. Tim, you've supported this class, this high school, our school district, and me in so many ways. Thank you, Tim, and thank you all parents for the countless ways you support each and every one associated with our school district individually. Grand Haven Area Public Schools Board of Education and staff, several of them celebrating tonight. Again, our board member James O'Neill with a graduate in the audience. Board members, for your volunteer commitment, ensuring we remain student-centered, and your deep belief in success for all. To our teachers, principals, and administrators for all your daily lessons, individual students, and driving these students ever forward. And to all of our staff, including our building secretaries, aides, bus drivers, food service, custodians, for each and every little thing and the action behind the scenes that makes a big difference on a daily basis. For our community foundation, our schools foundation, Ottawa Area United Way, Loudoun District Library, Rotary, Kiwanis, Salvation Army, Love Inc., TCM Counseling, and so many more for the partnership and support for these students and families and your effort to offer tremendous services and opportunities that enrich our lives. To our city and our township, law enforcement, fire authorities, for your vigilance, support, and partnership to keep our students and staff safe. To the Chamber of Commerce and our entire business community for the thousands of dollars in donations, your partnership, and the opportunities you've given to our students and programs year in and year out. And seniors, thank you. For all of us educators, you are truly our why. You bring joy to us every day. Our purpose is your success, and your growth truly fuels our passion for education. Class of 2019, this community and school district have made a monumental investment in each of you. We're excited about what you'll accomplish, and as I said, we're anxious to see where you're going to go. Speaking of where you're headed, you know we live in a world that's moving fast. You know we're more connected than ever before. Our world and country often feel divided on important issues and topics. Often we feel we must choose a side or a particular path. It can make the future feel difficult and even uncertain. But I can tell you this, I have great confidence in each of you, in this graduating class, and in your entire generation. I've seen you learn, listen, work, and perform. You've got a long and wonderful path ahead, each one different and unique. We don't know what any of your futures holds, but it's truly in your hands. Abraham Lincoln may have said it best. The best way to predict the future is to create it. So as you each create your future, know you always have Grand Haven behind you. When you have success, we'll celebrate. When you hit a roadblock along the way, persist, and we'll be here to support you. You remain forever connected to Grand Haven, and as the saying goes, we've got your back. In closing, once again, thank you all for being present this evening and taking part in our ceremony. And I do have some official business to conduct for you tonight. So by the authority vested in the Grand Haven Area Public Schools Board of Education and delegated to me, the Superintendent of Schools, I certify that the seniors present this evening have met all the requirements and standards for high school graduation as set forth by the state of Michigan and the Grand Haven Area Public Schools Board of Education. Class of 2019, your future is bright, your legacy is secure. Good luck, good health, and good life to you. Congratulations, go Bucks.
Thank you. Now I get to move that down again. The class of 2019 is the 5th class to have the opportunity to participate in the early college program. This program is a 13-year commitment, which includes an extra year beyond 12th grade, at which time the students that are part of that program will be receiving their high school diploma and either a college associate's degree or a Michigan transfer agreement. It's a cooperation between the Grand Haven High School and Area Public Schools, the Ottawa Area Intermediate School District, and Muskegon Community College. There are students that are part of that program participating in tonight's ceremony because they're part of our 2019 cohort. They will continue on at Muskegon Community College and at this time next year have the opportunity to participate in that graduation ceremony. It is with tons of effort, commitment, and dedication that they have that opportunity. So at this time, we would like to acknowledge those students by asking them to please stand. There are 14 students part of this cohort, so please stand and wait the entire time. Mr. Sikinga is going to read those names. Nope. Nope. Over here. Try again.
Julia Clark, Leon Colbury, Crimson Drager, Abby Dunster, Emily Klingensmith, Catherine Craig, Miles Lemaire, Ashley McKay, Isabel Meyer, Kara Nelson, Logan Newsma, Katrin Paul, Alyssa Rose, Courtney Shaw, Chelsea Sportel, Seth Taylor, Cole Tubergen, Mariah Yaney.
Thank you for your commitment. We have been extremely fortunate in Grand Haven to have a tradition of excellence regarding our academic achievements, and this year's class is no exception. The class of 2019 has played a huge part in the Grand Haven High School and Grand Haven area public schools receiving of different prestigious third-party rankings. This class also has been a huge part of state and national competition with Science Olympiad, First Robotics State and World Competition, Model UN, and DECA Internationals. This group also has 5 seniors who receive National Merit Honors: Jackson Ham, Brenner Carr, Matthew Marcus, Lillian Mears, and Elise Van Dyke. Today, we are going to honor 76 of these students as distinguished academic leaders because they have maintained a 3.9 or higher grade point average. Cumulatively, this group together has a 4.07 grade point average. At this time, Mr. Roberson and Spayman are going to join me on stage while Ms. Dean and Mr. Sickinga are going to read names. So if the first row of DALs will please stand and come to the side of stage that you are on. If we could please hold our applause until we're done, we'll get through all 76 names.
So they're going to go first.
So you just
About a 3 count, unless there's a loud cheer, then I'll just wait for it to quiet down so everybody gets.
Anna Marie Ackerman. Nathaniel Ryan Adams. Shay Noel Andrzejewski. Ethan Robert Ball. Matthew Lee Bays. Alexander Thomas Beecham. Ella Kate Behringer. Valerie Lee Bobbledyke. Lauren Elizabeth Banky. Kelsey Ellen Bovey. Abigail Lynn Beitenheis. Miguel Eduardo Castellan Hernandez. Autumn Rain Chorney. Kirby Grace Colella. Jack Robert Decline. Zachary George Doerr. Noah David DeVerney. Kristen Paige Doty. Thomas Riley Draper. Habib Nabil Alamir. Jonathan James Elias. Adam Richard Glasser. Ashlyn Sidney Hall. Jackson Martin Ham. Gabriella Therese Henteman.
And as soon as she turns around, stick your card in my face. Rachel Ashley Hilberger. Abigail Elise Holman. Alexis Ann Horton. Christian Buell Hudson. Samantha Elise Heiler. Schaefer Anthony Inthasane. Dahlia Marie Jirosik. Benjamin Michael Uhas. Trevor Adam Kalis. Brenner Lewis Carr. Alexandra Grace Kingma. Tylee Marie Knieper. Natalie Joyce Kutsier. Dugan Thomas Labarge. Bennett Webster Lowe. Ian McIsaac McDonald. Mason Patrick Mahasic. Madeline Ray Mahoney. Matthew Landon Marcus. Giovanna Marichek. Aiden Micah Martin. Ashlyn Sue McKee. Kelsey Nicole McManus. Olivia Kate McMullen. Alexa Dawn McVoy. Megan Ann Whittigan.
Lillian Margaret Mears. Malin Rose Miller. Jackson Heath O'Leary. Audrey Lucille Parchetta. Cameron Jayton Picart. Adriana Elizabeth Pipe. Jax Braden Plummert. Quinn Alexander Remington. Nolan Michael Rubel. Maximilian Jacob Rundell. Courtney K. Shaw. Ellie Elizabeth Slater. Cameron J. Slutmaker. Sarah Lynn Sokoli. Alyssa Trillin Spencer. Ellen Lee Stolarski. Macy Grace Swiftney. Colin Michael Takas. Jasana Taylor. Brendan Joseph Vandiweg. Elise Eleanor Van Dyke. Grace Elizabeth Veldhuizen. Carson Cole Wagaski. Sarah Catherine Walker. Chloe Essa Weigel.
It is with great pride that I invite Senior Class President Ellen Stolarski to the podium. She's going to address the class of 2019. Ellen has been the class president this year and has served on Student Senate throughout high school. I've enjoyed the opportunity of working closely with Ellen as she's advocated for you in several projects throughout the building. Her dedication and passion to the high school and her classmates has been a ton of fun to be around. Ellen.
In traditional high school fashion, I procrastinated a little bit on writing this speech. It wasn't that I didn't want to write it. I just didn't exactly know how to take our time at the Grand Haven High School and talk about it in a few short minutes. I think about my time here, and I could spend hours alone listing everything I enjoyed about my experience and what I was involved in. But for a short introduction of myself, I am Ellen Stolarski. I've been involved in Student Senate all 4 years of high school. This year, I was lucky enough to serve as our vice president and 2019 senior class president. I'm also highly involved in the Community Foundation, serving as president of the Youth Advisory Council and the youth representative on the Board and Grants Committee. If you've known me for any time, you know that philanthropic work is very important to me. Throughout high school, I've especially learned how impactful and fulfilling giving can be. I find that sometimes it's hard to convince my peers that giving up something can in turn give you more, but I'm going to try. When I talk about giving, it can truly be anything. It's kind words, time, money, or talent. It's as simple as taking the time to thank our administration, teachers, counselors, parents, peers, and coaches for supporting us through high school. You can join service project and volunteer opportunities, be a listening ear to a friend in need, or buying baked goods at a bake sale. Big or small, your gift of generosity will make a difference. Giving opens doors that you never thought were possible. The people you'll meet, the impact you'll make, and the self-growth you'll see is incredible. You'll start a chain reaction that's hard to stop. When we all give a little something, our ripples can become waves of change. You'll start to see the people in your community smile bigger, laugh harder, and in turn, give more. It is this feeling that I strive to give to others, and I hope you choose to do as well as we grow up. High school, although I wish could say was perfect every day, wasn't. There were many great days for our class, and others we had wished never happened. While I was reading a book, I came across a quote that I felt explained this feeling. It was called Good Morning, Good Night by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Good morning. This feeling will pass, this workload will pass, these people will pass. But look at you, with the gift of memory. You can time travel to the good stuff just by closing your eyes and breathing. Then come right back to now, eyes up for the good stuff ahead. You magic thing. Good night. This moment will pass, this fatigue will pass, tonight will pass. But look at you, with the gift of imagination. You can teleport to where you're happiest just by closing your eyes and breathing. Then come right back to now, check in with the present. You magic thing, you. High school was a lot of busy nights, long days, fun memories, and great people. But I understand that this experience was different for all of us. For those who found high school to be the best 4 years of your life, know that this moment will pass. But it doesn't mean that you have to forget about it. I encourage you to use your gift of memory and never let go of these days. Spend the next years of your life continuing to enjoy every day and making memories. The good times don't have to end just because high school is. And for those of us who didn't find high school to be your place or years you'd wish to forget, remember that as well, this will pass. I encourage you to use your gift of imagination because there are brighter days ahead and you get to choose how they go. Start dreaming big and chase after what you want. The time is finally yours. High school no longer holds you back. It's important for all of us to know that every moment will pass, and that's okay. That's how we learn, and that's how we grow. So whether your senior year had consisted of bubble shooter and Tetris or multiple AP classes, I hope that you're ready for this moment to pass. Your gifts of imagination, memory, and generosity will help guide you through these years. And as these years approach, know that I believe in you. I know that you are capable of being successful. And with that, I'd like to congratulate you, the class of 2019. Each and every one of you is sitting here in a cap and gown today. You did it. Thank you.
Very good. At the conclusion of each school year, each class votes for the most influential teachers, selecting their top 3. These votes are tallied and one teacher is selected for each school year, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. At graduation each year, the graduating class honors 4 of those faculty members. These people have supported them and encouraged them all the way throughout. So at this time, I would like to invite Thomas Draper, Habib Elamir, Alexa McVoy, and Chloe Weigel to join me on stage as they present these awards.
I'm sorry?
Her award is over here.
Oh, do I just grab it? Hi, my name is Thomas Draper. I've had the pleasure of having this teacher 3 times since 8th grade. In 8th grade, that year, I really learned how spunky her personality is and how much she really connects with her students. After 8th grade year, she couldn't get enough of us, and so she moved up to English 9 with us to continue teaching our class. I remember she started playing vocab review basketball with the freshman English class, and there were many mishaps with that ball. Freshman year was the year that we lost a beloved friend. This was very tragic, and I vividly remember the next day this teacher pulled me aside in the hall to ask if I was okay and gave me a big hug. I know that she did this with many of her students that day and the weeks afterwards. I had this teacher again this past year in independent reading, and she has not changed at all. She is still the spunky and caring person that I remember when I was 14. I asked 3 other students who were impacted by this teacher why she deserves most influential teacher, and one responded with this: "She has a special gift for being able to build relationships with all of her students. No matter their background, home life, or grades, she is able to be an inspiration in their lives and be someone that students look up to. She is supportive, empathetic, and also ridiculously funny, and because of these things, she's able to bring light into each student's life." I could not agree more. I also asked for their fondest memory of this teacher, and another student said that he went over to her house to request a letter of recommendation and ended up talking to her for 2.5 hours about life in the present and goals in the future. He said that he can't imagine having a conversation like this with any other teacher or even a friend for that matter. This teacher is by far the most caring teacher I've ever had, and I know that most of you can say the same thing, and that's why we all voted Mrs. Daisha Alba as one of the most influential teachers of 2019.
Hello, I am Alexa McVoy, and I'm thrilled that on this day, as we gather together to celebrate our futures, I am able to recognize a teacher that has made an impact on so many of ours. I had this teacher for world history my freshman year. Freshman year teachers have a unique job in that it is in their classrooms that we are shaped into the student that we are going to be for the next 4 years. This teacher seemed to know how the freshman mind worked. He made learning fun, with games and creative projects that helped us connect history concepts to our modern world. His style of teaching allowed students to remember what they learned long after the class was over. He also made you look forward to coming to class each and every day, which is often difficult to do. But what truly made him influential were the connections that he made with his students. Freshman year, when we had no idea what today would look like, he was there for us and invested in our future and was always there to offer advice. Senior year, he still greets me with a "Hey McVoy" in the hallway and checks in on my future plans. It is these small things that make us students feel important. After all, it is because of teachers like him that we are here today. This is why I am pleased to announce Mr. Aaron Blaine as one of the most influential teachers.
Hello, my name is Habib Elamir, and today I am speaking to honor Mrs. Portinga. During my freshman year at Grand Haven High School, I had Mrs. Portinga for honors biology. And because this course is usually taken by sophomores and because I was relatively new to the school, it was a little difficult for me to fit into this classroom full of strangers. Fortunately, Mrs. Portinga not only made me feel welcome in the classroom, but she enhanced my experience overall. Her Student of the Week moments, hilarious stories, and of course, her family music videos all brought a sense of lightheartedness to the classroom. And this, mixed with her effective teaching style, made me feel comfortable. It is not just me who feels this way, though. She always opens her classroom up to visits from previous students, whether they seek to draw weird caricatures on her whiteboard or desire serious advice. Within such a large school, her personality is identifiable. And most students can often describe it in one of 3 ways. She is cordial, she is lively, and she has an uncanny obsession with York peppermint patties. Mrs. Portinga brings a ray of light to teaching. She manages to maintain that perfect balance between seriousness and lightness in the classroom. Her presence always ignites a flare of energy within her students, which motivates them to succeed. Among all things, she remains personable. She encourages her students to come to her for help with problems in or outside of school. She is always there for us, and she is always someone who listens. And for these things, she means so much more than just the title of a biology teacher. So, Mrs. Portinga, on behalf of this senior class, I would like to present you with an award for being one of the most influential teachers. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It feels so surreal to be standing up here in a cap and gown. Nevertheless, we would not be here today if it weren't for the wonderful staff that have pushed us to learn and succeed during our careers at Grand Haven High School. One educator in particular has taught students to appreciate and even love English. This educator is both dedicated and concerned with student success and never fails to make a student feel at home within his classroom. While every educator has been invested in our education, this person has a unique sense of humanity that has always made students ready to succeed. This teacher made students better and helped develop a set of skills that they will use for the rest of their lives. The challenges he put in front of us helped us grow, and his efforts to encourage camaraderie made our experience in his class one we will never forget. He used humor to make learning easy and always made sure students felt included and comfortable. Personally, he pushed me to trust in myself and made me a better student. I truly believe that all of our futures are bright, but maybe not as bright as this educator's head. The class of 2019 thanks you for all that you did to help us grow and for making English engaging. I guess the one thing we all really have to say is, thank you, old sport. While the deadlines and vocab were not always the most enjoyable, you made English something that we all could love. And with that, I'm grateful and thankful to honor Mr. Cram as one of the most influential educators.
Thanks to you four and to each of you senior class members. Those individuals are somebody who seemed very special to you in order for you to recognize them tonight. It's my honor to invite Student Senate President Christian Hudson to the podium to offer his remarks. Chris has been an integral part of Student Senate during his entire career at the high school, as well as playing a pretty big role in the Bucks Blade staff. He demonstrated his leadership through academics, along with being a section leader for our student section. He also did a lot of advocating. You can come up here. He also did a lot of advocating on your behalf and on those of every student in our building. He worked really hard to take on all of the responsibilities related to being the overall Student Senate President, and he did it with a great deal of balance as he continued to involve himself in things that also were important to his heart. Chris.
Good evening, administrators, faculty, parents, families, and my fellow students. To begin, I want all of you to clear your minds and think of a person who's positively influenced our world today. Someone who we might see in national media, honor on holidays, or view as a role model. Got that person? Now let me see if I can describe them to you using just 3 words. Strength despite unpredictability. These might have not been the words you expected, but let me explain. The concept of strength, despite unpredictability, has made average individuals into iconic leaders. Those who master this have become the few who stand the test of time, are remembered throughout the course of history, noted in literature we've read over the years, and memorialized by statues in our culture today. Each of us admire these pioneers in a different way for what they were able to accomplish for the greater good, earning them a godlike status. But through all that glory, very few ever counter and ask, how were they able to stay strong when all was wrong? What did it take? Is there something about them that I don't obtain? Now, Those people who are global powers today had beginnings too. In fact, if you didn't notice, they started as curious and clumsy kids just as we all do. They learned through trial and error, tears shed in frustration, and bruises on their skin showing they gave it their all. Case in point, they're not machine, they're human too. And as these icons matured, the challenges they faced wouldn't resist. Learning on the fly, taking life day by day, and trying to make the best out of the problems presented to them became an everyday norm. It's just how each of them handled their own situation that led them to where they are currently, one of the few we look up to. And bringing it back to now, as we gather as members of the class of 2019 and soon to be alums of Grand Haven High School, we too have had our fair share of unpredictability, where we could have broke under the pressure of our daily battles. From the small, petty things we lost privilege of, senior parking spots, backpacks, phones, even the Google Chromebook Hangout feature back in the day. Those were minute, yes, but impactful on top of our daily workload and personal stressors, which made us believe that the school was deliberately aiming to make our days more unbearable. But those minor nuisances were nothing to what shook this community and us to our core. The passing of 3 close classmates, and each of us having to stay the course, trying to move on without them. We students have gone through endless changes and setbacks, each not the same as the classmate next to us, yet we're still only teenagers. Each day we've been met with a new challenge to face, a new obstacle to overcome, a new mission to complete, a new problem to solve. And when we could have fallen by the wayside, we, the class of 2019, and this Buccaneer family remained strong. Whatever it took, we would do. We bonded as one, creating a rock garden for mental health awareness. We made our own impact, forming new initiatives that expressed our care for one another. And we took a stand for what we believed in, no matter the circumstance. We continued to rise time and time again. As a class, we have achieved excellence in classrooms, stages, and athletic venues, and we continue to raise that bar. Leaving Grand Haven High School today and pursuing our separate paths to make our own mark on the world, we have to remember where we came from and give thanks to those who have inspired us to become leaders in our own right and who will continue to inspire us tomorrow. Thank you to the teachers who have supported us, both academically and personally, to the counselors and countless faculty members who have celebrated our accomplishments, to our friends for making high school more enjoyable and memorable, and most importantly, to our families and our parents who have been behind us every step of the way. I love you, Mom. Thank you for being the people who inspire us. It is because of you that the class of 2019 is prepared for any challenge the world might bring to us. We are strong and we are ready. Thank you, and forever go Bucks.
That is awesome. At this time, the senior members of the band are asked to join the graduation band for your final number under the direction of our director, Mr. Ian Novoselic.
Seniors, stand up, seniors.
As those members make their way back to their seats, I would like to let you know that it's been over a decade since we have invited an outside speaker to be our keynote address, but rather we select a graduate from our class. And at this time, I'd like to ask Matthew Marcus to join me on stage. Matthew's been a student at our district since his days back at Peach Plains Elementary. He's excelled academically, been part of Science Olympiad, National Honor Society, Model UN, Water Polo, and the Youth Advisory Council. Matthew is an incredible leader who loves to play a supporting role for his friends. That's a trait that he will use to support his future success. Matthew.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to be here tonight with all of you, and I'd like to start by thanking my family members and my friends who have supported me along the way here, without whom I would not be in this position to speak tonight. I'd also like to thank the amazing teachers and staff members over the years who have influenced me in my time at Grand Haven. Class of 2019, we made it. It certainly wasn't always easy, but here we are. Our journey has come to an end. And before I talk to you about the future, I'd like to take a moment and look back at what we accomplished to get here. We started by making it through freshman year, and we never really understood why all the other classes disliked the freshmen so much. And then we got to sophomore year, and it kind of made sense. You know, we all became really good drivers. Except, as I say that, I'm sure many of your parents are very visibly disagreeing with me, probably including my own. So I think I should amend that statement to, we all became drivers, for better or worse. We won numerous sport, music, and academic awards across a variety of different activities, adding our names to the long history of successful Buccaneers. We took our exams, our AP test, and the SAT so many times, we mastered the art of maximizing your score while minimizing time spent studying. And because my parents are here tonight, I like to say to them, that's not exactly laziness, I like to call it efficiency. It's a much nicer sounding word. We all made our plans. We all have our futures laid out before us, whether that's going into college, into a trade school, into the military, or straight into your job. We're ready for success in this world. But tonight, I'd like us to take a moment and think about our greatest accomplishment as a class, one that I really think defines what we were able to do and what we were able to achieve. And that would be making it an entire year in the same building as the class of 2022. Curiously, that also happens to be the same year the boys' bathroom started getting vandalized. Might be a connection, I don't know. But I guess nothing says I'm a young adult like using a urinal worse than an elementary schooler. But now this is going to get me into what I really want to talk to you about tonight, and that's actually not the state of the men's bathrooms, although there's enough to be said about that. No, tonight I want to talk to you all about your legacy, how you choose to impact the world. I'm going to start by talking about my favorite football player, a person who I not only consider to be the best football player of all time, but also a personal role model of mine, someone I look up to. That is Walter Payton. And now I'm pretty sure I've lost all the Lions fans here in the audience tonight, but for those of you that are left, Walter Payton was a running back who played for the Chicago Bears in the 70s and the 80s. At the time of his retirement, he held nearly every record that a person in his position could hold. His accolades were unmatched. His status was legendary. But today, Payton isn't remembered for his records, most of which have since been broken. He isn't remembered as just a football player, as he was much more than that. The NFL has an award that they give out each year to the player who best demonstrates qualities we associate with good people. Volunteering, donating to your community, philanthropy, they're all things that are, in many ways, higher than football, and the award itself is an honor much higher than that. The name of this award is the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Named after Payton, as he was a person who exemplified these qualities to their highest potential. You see, Payton won't be remembered as the best player to ever pick up a football. He will be remembered as the best man to do so. His legacy is more than what he did, it is the type of person that he was. A legacy, like the one Walter Payton left behind, is made up of two parts. The first being what you've done. All of your accomplishments, your accolades, all the decisions you've made in life, they all contribute to how you're remembered. But even more importantly than what we've done is the type of person we choose to be. Who we are, how we interact with the world, what we leave behind. That is our true legacy. That is how we will be remembered. And the beauty of it is, the second part of our legacy is our choice. We can't always choose what happens to us in life. We can't control the circumstances around us, but we can always decide the type of person we want to be. And we can always decide what type of person we want to become. We can control our legacy because we can control how we interact with this world. We don't decide what the world throws at us, but we decide how we react to it, which is a reflection of that person we're choosing to be. The other thing about our legacy is you don't have to change the world to leave one. Legacies come in all different sizes and all different forms. For some, they will best be remembered for being a hard worker, a person who dedicated their time to their job and who was dependable, someone who made an impact through their career and their reputation. For others, they will be remembered as more of a humanitarian, someone who gave their time and their money for others, strangers that they didn't even know. For others, their legacy will be that of a devoted family member, a person who cared deeply, provided for their loved ones, so they may too leave their own legacy someday. Or people may simply be remembered as being a kind soul, someone who did good for other people. There are many more examples, some big and some small, but whatever we choose to do, whoever we choose to be, our legacy will reflect that, and we will be remembered for it. Class of 2019, graduation is a celebration. It is a celebration of what we've done. It's a celebration of the legacies we've already started to create. But graduation is also about moving forward. It's about taking the next step in life and building onto the story of our lives that is constantly being written. So I'd like to leave you tonight with this in mind. Our legacy is how we will be remembered. It will outlive us in the end, lasting long past our death. To all of you here tonight, Make it your goal to be someone worth remembering. Do something spectacular. Change the lives of others for the better. Be a good parent, a good child, or a good spouse. Help others. Choose to be the type of person who leaves behind the legacy you want to be remembered by. Because we are all worth remembering. We are all worth remembering. We can all impact our own small parts of the world and leave our own mark, our legacy, behind. And class of 2019, I can't wait to see what your legacies will be. Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to walk down our own separate roads in life, we're united together here on this football field one last time as Buccaneers. Class of 2019, it has been my honor to call myself one of you, and it's been my honor to have you all as part of my legacy. Thank you. Go Bucs.
Wow. The long bomb. You hit it out of the park. I know it's not football, but that was awesome. Great job, Matthew. This is the part of the ceremony that you've all been waiting for. Mr. Engel mentioned earlier that each one of the students participating tonight have met the graduation requirements of 22 credits in order to receive a Grand Haven High School diploma or certificate of attendance. Those requirements are set forth by the Board of Education and the Michigan Department of Education's merit curriculum. The class of 2019 has a combined grade point average of 3.25, and they have prepared themselves for this moment. Some of you looked at me with a little amazement just now. A 3.25 might not seem huge for some of you, but getting a high school diploma today, when every single student is required to take earth science, biology, chemistry, physics, geometry, algebra, algebra 2, there's so many requirements today, much different than many of what your parents went through. The fact that you are here tonight and you're getting your diploma is huge. So at this time, I would like to ask Mr. Sickinga and Miss Dean, who are going to read your names, to please go to their microphones. The Board of Education will be giving out their awards, and the first row is asked to stand and make your way to your side of the stage. Family and friends, I present to you the class of 2019.
Deja vu all over again, but this time you give me the cards. Preferably right side up.
Now you can just hand it to me. Anna Marie Ackerman. Nathaniel Ryan Adams. Shay Noel Andrzejewski. Ethan Robert Bell.
A little quicker count.
Ball.
About a 4 count.
Matthew Lee Bays. Alexander Thomas Beecham. Ella Kate Behringer. Valerie Lee Bobbledyke. Lauren Elizabeth Banky. Kelsey Ellen Bovey. Abigail Lynn Beitenheis. Miguel Eduardo Castellan Hernandez. Autumn Rain Chorney. Kirby Grace Colella. Jack Robert Decline. Zachary George Doer. Noah David DeVerney. Kristen Paige Doty. Thomas Riley Draper. Habib Nabil Elamir. Jonathan James Elias. Adam Richard Glasser. Ashlyn Sidney Hall. Jackson Martin Ham. Gabriella Therese Henteman.
Rachel Ashley Hilberger. Abigail Elise Holman. Alexis Ann Horton. Christian Buell Hudson. Samantha Elise Heiler. Schaefer Anthony Inthasane. Dahlia Marie Jurosik. Benjamin Michael Uhas. Trevor Adam Kalis. Brenner Lewis Carr. Alexandra Grace Kingma. Tylee Marie Knieper. Natalie Joyce Kutsier. Dugan Thomas Labarge. Bennett Webster Lowe. Ian McIsaac McDonald. Mason Patrick Mahasic. Madeline Ray Mahoney. Matthew Landon Marcus. Giovanna Marichek. Aiden Micah Martin. Ashlyn Sue McKee. Kelsey Nicole McManus. Olivia Kate McMullen. Alexa Dawn McVoy. Megan Ann Whittigan.
Lillian Margaret Mears. Malin Rose Miller. Jackson Heath O'Leary. Audrey Lucille Parchetta. Cameron Jayton Picart. Adriana Elizabeth Pipe. Jax Braden Plummert. Quinn Alexander Remington. Nolan Michael Rubel. Maximilian Jacob Rundell. Courtney K. Shaw. Ellie Elizabeth Slater. Cameron J. Slutmaker. Sarah Lynn Sokoli. Alyssa Traylon Spencer. Ellen Lee Stolarski. Macy Grace Swiftney. Colin Michael Takis. Jasana Taylor. Brendan Joseph Vandeweg. Elise Eleanor Van Dyke. Grace Elizabeth Veldhuizen. Carson Cole Wagaski. Sarah Catherine Walker. Chloe Essa Weigel.
Ahmad Hamizan Ahmad Nizam. Christopher James Axelberg. Nicholas James Albright. Haley Nicole Aldred. Alexis Taylor Allen. Madison Renee Alsteins. Riley Jane Ames. Gabriella O'Rourke Amores. Carly Delilah Anderson. Claire Ava Melise Arnett. Jillian Elise Babbitt. Lydia Joy Baker. Emma Elizabeth Ball. Nicholas Allen Barlow. Drayden James Barnes. Landon Michael Barrett. Kaylee Sue Batka. Sadie Lee Ban. Sophia Marie Baudry. Caroline Violet Benham. Ethan Christopher Berg. Alexandra Bergman. Andrew Harlan Bergman.
Ethan Blackmer. Kirsten Victoria Bernia. Skylar William Betts. Isabel Renee Bird. Owen Richard Bittner. Danielle Ann Bugard. Caleb Allen Borns. Brendan Thomas Botvile. Macy Olivia Bradley. Cameron Brenberger. Jonah Blue Brinks. Anna Elise Brolick. Rachel Ann Brower. Ethan Christopher Brown. Connor John Brunink. Hannah Lynn Bryant. Wyatt Thomas Buckingham. Bradley John Beitenheis. Joshua Matthew Bunda. Kyle J. Bush. Esther Wynn Byington. Quinn Everett Byington. Colin Thomas James Bird. Nathan Cole Campbell. Catherine Grace Carman.
Elizabeth Carrillo Garcia. Jacob Brian Karskaden. Garrett Allen Case. Riley Joseph Celestin. Madison Page Chappell. Samantha Joseph Morrigan Chittister. Paige Elizabeth Chisholm. Julia Ann Clark. Courtney Jean Clemens. Cassandra Joan Clover. Leon Fudeme Colbury. Curtis Houston Colvin. Casey Joseph Constant. Gabrielle Lolita Marie Cook. Tiana Garu Kuntz. Elijah James Capato. Tristan Luke Cuvelaire. Austin Neil Kramer. Jacob Clayton Crow. Macy Nicole Crowell. Ashley Suzanne Cummings. Evan James Curtis. Maxwell Hart Curtis. Nicholas Ryan Davis. Caleb David DeFider.
Marcus Jonathan Lee DeRitter. Joseph Edward DeVerney. David Charles Dick. Crimson Drager. Morgan Cheryl Drees. Reese David Dreyer. Rayshawn James Dunn. Sarah Elizabeth Dunning. Abby Lene Dunster. Gracienne Leanne Dewey. Ainsley Rose Dyga. Dane Ivan Dykstra. Andrew Elliott Eager. Lauren Elizabeth Ike. Wyatt Richard Eikenberry. Austin William Eller. Whitney Grace Engelsman. Marcus Charles English. Caleb Jordan Angwal. Chloe Ann Ensing. Jenna Ray Epplett. Frederick Alberto Esnaola. Eric Michael Essenberg. Paige Rachel Essex. Kyle Joseph Eveland.
Megan Nicole Faber. Parker James Fustel. Jacob Riley Fisher. Robert Thomas Fisher. Bronson Lee Foote. Christian Hunter Forbes. Pierce A. Foster. Robert Warren Francis IV. Marley Claire Frazier. James Franklin Freisinger Jr. Jonathan Christopher Garland. Nicholas James Garvale. Rajveer Singotra. Carter Morgan Gibson. Christine Marie Gilmore. Alex Christopher Gerard. Megan Yvonne Grace Glover. Riley Benjamin Glover. Nathaniel John Graham. Parker James Green. Andrew John Greiner. Jamie Lee Gretzinger. Brendan Thompson Gross. Diego Ramon Guillen.
Michael William Graustra. Colin William Gurrell. Amelia Grace Hamilton. Brendan John Ham. Zachary Fisher Ham. Epiphany Ijaje Hang. Alicia Marie Hansen. Brian William Harms. Tyler Robert Harms. Drew William Harrison. Alexis Anna Harvell. Canyon Cornwire Hayes. Grace Elizabeth Henyon. David Hernandez. Michaela Renee Heitzman. Elizabeth Marguerite Hodge. Macy McKenna Hodges. Jonathan Ray Hoekstra. Trevor Scott Holloman. Anna Christine Holman. Isaac Christian Holt. Madison Elizabeth Holub. Olivia Madison Holzinger. Alexis Lee Hook. Mackenzie Marie Hornack.
Oh, this is so much quieter than my 6th hour. Riley Jean Horton. Isabel Susan Hausman. Brendan Michael Houston. Jalen Jawan Hutton. Andrew Donald Ireland. Noah Morgan Jetner. Braden William Curtis Jewell. Brianna K. Jam. Filberto Juarez. Trevor Kenneth Campinga. Zachary David Kaufman. Alex Michael Kaufman. Caleb McConney Kell. Griffin Owen Kelly. Payne Benjamin Kemink. Austin Dean Carriage. Caitlin Emily Ketterer. James Paul Kerr. Allison Paige Kaiser. Joseph Vernon King. Jacob Peter Clayhorst. Cha Pa Clay. Timothy Lee Klyla. Emily Grace Klingensmith. Elliot Andrew Kepi.
Catherine Ann Krieg. Kurt Michael LeBlanc. Diego James Laird. Cameron John Lakatos. Miles Avery Lemaire. Graydon Robert Lang. Keegan Thomas Langler. Elliot Jeffrey Lannon. Inca Danica Lapointe. Kaylee Rose Larson. Aiden Ryan Latchaw. Morgan Alexis Lennon. Evelyn Grace Lepo. Madeline Marie Lonnie. Gavin Lyle Love. Connor Lloyd Lucas. Maya Patricia Lucky. Benjamin Christopher Lutz. Alexandra Lynn Lyon. Ashley Lynn McKay. Adam Nicholas McGuire. Hannah Lee Maynor. Isabel Madeline Meyer. Fisher Mateo Mancia. Emma Kathleen Martin.
Jax Lane Mast. Scott Hamlin Matthews. Drew Joseph Matz. Sydney Nicole McCassell. Octavia Sedona McConnell. Kennedy Morgan McCrary. Cade Michael McDonald. Megan Kelly McGuire. Cody James Miller. Jack Benjamin Miller. Stephen Michael Minerick. Samuel Brent Missel. Sean Aaron Moe. Nicholas Aaron Moulter. Isaac Martin Molyneux. Madeline Ann Monroe. Alan John Moore. Hattie Elise Mulligan. Catherine Marie Murphy. Kara Michelle Nelson. Naya Alicia Ford Nienhaus. Logan Shea Newsma. Ty Christian Nivason.
Mark Aaron Norden. Chloe Elise Nowak. Kaylin Diane Nunn. Carson Edward O'Connell. Madison Louise Olson. Kelly Ann Olthoff. Jacob Dale O'Neill. Matthew Michael O'Rourke. Thomas Pardo. Caitlin Elizabeth Park. Morgan Marie Parent. Catherine Olivia Pease. Erica Pedroza. Crystal Nicole Pelt. Ethan Charles Peters. Trinity Dawn Peters. Katie Marie Peterson. Grace Elaine Platts. Gavin August Plemon. Alexander Christopher Pluff. Katrin Sue Paul. Madison Victoria Price. Mason James Price. Riley Jean Rademacher. Carlos Kennedy Rapley.
Matthew Dale Ray. Caleb Jameson Reeves. Joseph Dylan Reformato. Jack Allen Roos. Daisy Yasmin Reyes. Jesus Jose Reyes. Bianca Angelique Richard. Michael Allen Richardson. Erin Nicole Riley. Miller Shauje Roars. Aaliyah Martine Rolenhagen. Alyssa Joanne Rose. Talia Grace Rosenberg. Skylin Marie Rowan. Justin Randolph Reimel. Thomas James Salins. Elena Grace Salick. Samuel Louis Scarpino. Emily Ann Schaub. Kensley Page Schenkel. Isabella Elizabeth Shinkarial. Noah Robert Schuler. Austin Lee Schuler. Nicholas John Schuster.
Julia Elena Schwartz. Jared Matthew Snyder. Austin Thomas Schwalier. Maximilian Gil Sepeshi. Ethan William Simmons. Jaden Lee Skorupski. Emma Grace Slater. Laura Rose Slocum. Grace Mary Smith. Derek Michael Smith. Kyle Jacob Smith Simpson. Madison Claire Smits. Jamie Renee Snowfleet. Renaya Danielle Sobleski. Caitlin Lane Souls. Joseph Allen Spencer. Chelsea K. Sportel. Paige Ray Springer. Dylan Hunter Stafford. Matthew Jonathan Staruk. Isabel Marie Staskevich. Carson Reese Stenberg. Faith Elizabeth Stevens. Zachary Owen Stevenson.
Emma Catherine Jesse Strauss. Samuel David Stringham. Avery Catlin Strohmeyer. Anna Mae Gabrielle Strom. Juliana Grace Stump. Erica Marie Suchecki. Andrew Joseph Swart. Caleb Joshua Swart. Anna Rose Taylor. Bryce Andrew Taylor. Seth Joseph Taylor. Tyler Colin Teal. Now you can go home, Tyler. Sydney Margaret Thayer. Charisse Marie Timrek. Cole Michael Tubergen. Matthew Scott Tucker. Megan Elizabeth Weber. Dylan Paul Vandenberg. Eli James Vandenbrand. Lindsay Lynn Vandermeer. Kaylee Ann Vandermolen. Abby Grace Vanderroost. Emily Jane Van Dyke. Allison Nicole Vantrapot. Ashton Michael Voorhees.
J. Allen Voskel. Reese Alexander Voss. Tyler James Wagenvelt. Ethan Vitalis Wahlberg. Riley David Walcott. Gabrielle Elizabeth Walenga. Joseph Brian Walsh. Logan Michael Watson. Dominic John Weatherwax. Megan McKenna Wexall. Athena Sky Wyzorek. Mark Edward Wilgenberg. Ariel Godia Williams.
Tyler Jeffrey Williams. Abby Mae Williamson. Travis Noah Williamson. Samuel Lewis Windberg. Angela Ruth Wingard. Oliver Liam Wolf. Nathan James Wolfus. Brandon Scott Wooten. Jillian Michelle Wiles. Mariah Elizabeth Yaney. Laura Nancy Yonan. Casey Michelle Zeiler. Brooke Elizabeth Zellman.
I want to take this opportunity to thank a number of people who were instrumental in organizing and participating in tonight's event. If you would please hold your applause till the end. The Grand Haven Area Public Schools operation crew for the support of getting the stage and stadium ready. A special thanks to Doug Oberlin and Jeff Van Tall from our campus. Dennis Threadgill, Tanya Johnson, Brian Wheeler, and the crew of GH Productions, who provided our ceremony on YouTube this evening, so those that were unable to attend were able to still watch. Our flower girls, ushers, and ambassadors who supported us this entire evening and will distribute the diploma packets on the south end of the stadium. These people will be our juniors now and will be seniors sitting in your spots next year. Our staff from the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department, Mr. Ian Novoselic, and our high school band director, Mr. Craig Bourdon, who has stepped in as the interim director over at White Pines Middle School. Our class advisors, Brian Williams, Tricia Nutt, Abby Williams, Student Senate Advisor Tom Paleo. And I will allow the seniors to give a huge round of applause to their senior class advisor, Miss Elizabeth Jervis. Also tonight, reading names, C.E. Sickinga and Angel Dean. Our support professionals, Mr. Feesby, Johnson, Lundvik, Graves. Miss Yonker, who drove the golf cart out in the parking lot to help some of those people get to the gate. all of the K through 12 Grand Haven Area Public Schools staff that participated in tonight's event with their black caps and gowns. Support from the main office in organization, Renee Zelinka, Kara Kemperman, from Student Services, Carrie Francis, Lynn Bailey, Barb Burko, and from the athletic office, Rita Way. And even though she can't hear this right now, she's down there dealing with all of your packets. A huge thank you to Denise Sabo, main office secretary, for her commitment in making certain all the details are taken care of for tonight. Of course, thank you to the Board of Education, Andy Engel, our superintendent, Scott Grimes, our assistant superintendent, directors of technology and operations, Brian Wheeler and Jason McKay. They provide us undying support all of the time. And it would go unbeknownst to me without saying to our team at the high school, Kyle Heitzman, deputies Jake McKellar and Ryan DeVries, Scott Robertson, and finally in the office, Mike Roberson and Travis Spayman. We have just an incredible team, so thank you to all of you. That's it. So I have just a few words. I know, sorry. But I kind of got to do this for 4 years with you, and I'm going to try really hard to not cry. This is my favorite night of the entire school year, but it's also my least favorite night of the entire school year. The excitement of another group of students leaving the big house. That's exciting, but it's also the sadness of another group of students leaving the big house. I guess maybe sometimes I get too emotionally attached. So I'm going to do my best, and here we go. First of all, senior parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, thank you for all you've done to support your students. We have a number of parents who are leaving the big house tonight for the last time with a graduate. Some of you have been here for 10 or more years. Some of you are leaving with a single child. This is your first and only graduation, and others have 3, 4, or more. The continued support that you have provided our staff all the way from K through 12, and especially here at the high school, we just can't thank you enough. We will miss you, but we know that you will forever be one of ours and you will support us. For those of you that are graduating your first student tonight, it's a little bit scary. Your first student's leaving your house. You're not quite sure what's happening, where they're going, and maybe you have the mix of emotions as well. But thank you for all of your support, and you'll have some more, so we'll see you in the future. Class of 2019, you're almost to the finish line. In the fall of 2006, you began your educational journey as a kindergartner. Do you remember that first day? Some of you were afraid to leave your mom and dad, whether they dropped you off at the front door or walked you to the bus stop. Some of you ran as fast as you could and continued to show that piece of independence. You continued to grow through middle school and intermediate, kind of awkwardly through your bodies. You got to come together in 6th grade at White Pines Intermediate. You got to spend 6th, 7th, and 8th grade together as a class before coming to the big house. So you got to experience some excitements and disappointments, trying out for teams, musicals, and those types of things, either getting the position you hoped for or not. It was through some of those intermediate and middle school years that you learned how to deal with that first piece of disappointment. You have been together for 7 years, growing, learning, supporting, and believing in one another. You've become a very compassionate, empathetic, giving group of young people, and have always been pushing yourselves outside of your comfort zones. Some of this happened without you even wanting it. But that's what happens when a large group of humans goes through a different and a lot of crises as you have. Independently and together, you have learned how to cope with the loss of classmates, too many for students your age. However, you have continued to honor their memory and have vowed to never forget them. Some of you have lost a parent or a sibling or dealt with cancer through these years, and together you have supported one another. You have learned that through tough days, you can still smile, you can still be happy, and you can still enjoy life. You have forced us adults within this institution to give enough space, but also be there when you need a hug, a handshake, or a smile. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey. You were the fourth class to participate in the tradition of the seniors' final walkout. Together yesterday through elementary, intermediate, and middle schools, and then joining together here outside of Pod 3 to walk down the main hallway and out those rotunda doors for one last time as a group together. The tradition has quickly become a favorite, and the impact on the younger kids throughout our district is amazing. These kids have looked up to you time and again as they have supported you on fields, courts, the stage, and at competitions. You provided them one last opportunity to congratulate you. Your class can also be remembered for a couple of firsts. The first to make it through with no backpacks and cell phones. Thank you. You are amazing. The first to get 12 snow days the second semester of your senior year. The first to have boys have to sign in to use a bathroom. The first to have their DAL picture taken 3 times. Yeah, thanks, Miguel. And you were also the first to totally botch rehearsal yesterday. But we are so glad that you did that yesterday because you ordered up this. Can you imagine the rain, the cold, the nasty weather we've had since January, and this happened for you tonight? I don't think that's by accident. We've challenged you to step outside of your comfort zone so that you could stretch, fail, learn, and grow. You have learned to think beyond yourselves, supporting one another. Some of you are wearing a white cord tonight because that signifies that you've attended lots of events in support of your peers to become Bucko's first mates. You've also taken initiatives to one other level. You've created things in order to give your opportunities for your classmates and underclassmen to grow, like new things like the chalkboard project, Call to Warriors, Walk for Light, and most recently, Never Stand Alone. All of these were done by you in an effort to grow compassion and empathy towards others. Taking time to simply be kind and spread random acts of kindness has helped you realize that every interaction you have with someone else counts. Whether it's big or little, you make a difference in the lives of others. You've slowed down to notice. I often speak about your attitude and the fact that every single day you get to choose what your attitude is, happy, sad, mad, or glad. We can let life circumstances beat us down, or we can make the choice to sit up and use that as a source of strength. I recently started reading a book called The Path to Serendipity, Discover the Gifts Along Life's Journey. And I also don't think it was a coincidence that I picked up that book in the last few weeks. The back cover says, you get to choose what kind of day you want to live every day. But it doesn't always seem that way. When challenges arise and throw you off course, life can feel frustrating, maddening, even heartbreaking. Even in those moments, you have the choice to find the gift. Through tragedy and triumph, and even in many mundane moments in between, life offers you love, wisdom, and self-discovery. The best gift of all is the freedom to choose what you want to be and what kind of life you want to live. Don't miss the gift. Life is most certainly a journey, and you will continue to be faced with success and adverse situations. How you choose to move forward will define your path. You've already learned to come together. It doesn't make a difference whether the good times, bad times, semi-good, semi-bad, you need to push forward and persevere. Your class has demonstrated an undying amount of grit, maybe more grit than we've seen at Grand Haven High School in a long time. You've gone through many life lessons, and I challenge you every day to wake up and find your happiness. Thank you for sharing your world with me. It has truly been a pleasure of mine to serve as your principal. I've been fortunate to watch some of you grow longer than just the 4 years you've been in our building, but I've witnessed a tremendous amount of growth in many of you during these last 4 years. I hope you choose life's gifts and that you find happiness. You certainly have made an impact here, and you have changed many lives. I believe 436 of you are moving out of this big house, and it's hard. But just know, like Mr. Engel said earlier, you're forever a Buccaneer. We will forever be here for you, and I will always be here to support you. I look forward to hearing about all the good ways that you are changing the world, one Grand Haven graduate at a time. Thank you. I just would ask each of you graduates, before we do the symbolic changing of the tassel, to take time before you move off to the next journey ahead, whatever that journey looks like for you. Take time to thank those that have truly supported you and been next to your side to get you where you are today, whether it's a teacher, a coach, a director, an advisor, a parent, a sibling, a friend, whoever it might be. Just take time to truly thank them. And when someone asks you where you're from, be proud to tell them you're from that really cool city on the lake shore of Lake Michigan, because we're always going to be here to support you. So let's finish this off. Before we move that tassel 4 inches, I would like you to stand up and find someone in the audience that is part of your family. The tassel that you are about to move symbolizes your hard work, sacrifice, and effort over the past 13 years. While you're only moving it 4 inches, there are great things to come beyond this. So as you shift your tassel, it is totally a moment that will be surreal for you. It's here, you're going to get your diploma. Where this ends, another door will open. So at this time, I think it is totally appropriate for you to move that tassel from the right to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you 436 alumni of Grand Haven High School. Go Bucks!
I want this every year.
Let's do this again.
Well, was it last year that we were sweating
Yes.
under our gowns?
And 2 years ago.
I mean, like you could feel the
Yes,
drips.